Amber Dolphins, and welcome to Cooking with Some Math, again with Mrs. Rehome. Welcome to my kitchen. Today, we are going to make peanut butter clouds. They are yummy. Now, if you really appreciate your teachers, you should make them a batch of these because they really like them. But today, our recipe, I'm only going to do a fourth of our recipe or a quarter of the recipe. Last time I did a half, which was pretty easy to do. I'm going to show you what a fourth is. Let's say this circle is a whole recipe. That's the whole recipe right there. Now, if we're going to do a half a recipe and only do the half, this is how you would write that. Some of you older kids already know how to write a quarter of a recipe, a quarter. Now, a quarter of a recipe, or a quarter, or 1/4, is this little bit right here. And the way you write that is like this. We are doing 1/4 of a recipe for these peanut butter clouds. But trust me, it still makes plenty. So in the whole recipe, we use 2 cups of all our ingredients. Now, what is half of 2? Right, 1. So if I did half a recipe, we'd be using 1 cup of everything. But now we're only going to do a quarter. So a quarter is a half of a half. So instead of 1 cup, we are going to be doing a half a cup of everything. Now let me tell you what the ingredients are that you'll need. Make sure that you have your parents' permission to be doing this and ask them to help, because there is a point where we'll have to microwave and melt some chocolate, and you will need their help in that. So our ingredients, and there's just 5 things. We have Rice Krispies or any kind of crispy rice cereal, peanut butter, mini marshmallows, and they do need to be the mini ones, chopped nuts, and Candy Quick. Just 5 things. That's all we need. Make sure that you have everything. You need a small bowl, a spatula, some measuring cups, and something to melt the chocolate in. Now, to begin with, we're going to put a half a cup of Rice Krispies into our bowl. I always like to pour them into the bowl in case it spills. Then they just get into the bowl, and a little extra is not going to hurt anything. So, whoops. So let's do our half a cup. Yep, that's a half a cup. Then we need a half a cup of marshmallows. Again, pour them over the bowl, so if you get a few extras that fall out, it's not going to hurt anything. There's our half a cup. Whoop. I had one escape. Oh, and let me turn this down so you can see what I'm doing. Then we need our half a cup of chopped nuts. Now, I always like to do the peanut butter last, because then when you put the hot chocolate on top of it, it melts a lot better. So let's get our half a cup of peanut butter. This is always the fun, messy part. Oh, that's not near enough. You might also need to have your parents help you get the peanut butter out of the jar. Let's see if that'll be enough now. Yep, I say that's half a cup. So let's scrape that out. Now our last ingredient is the chocolate. Now the way the chocolate comes is like this in a tray. There are 8 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just like this. But remember, we don't need the whole thing. We only need 1/4 of it. So let's figure this out. Remember, this would be a whole recipe. Now, this would be a half a recipe. 4 squares would be half. But remember, we need half of a half. So we only need, if there is 4 is a half, we only need half of that half. So let's cross out half. That means we need 2 squares. For the upper graders, if you have 8 eighths, that equals 1 whole. That's what this is. But we want half of that. So half of that would be 4 eighths, which would also be 1/2. But remember, we want even half of that to get our quarter. So half of 4 is 2. So we would have 2 eighths, which then would equal 1/4. That's what we want. We want 2 of our 8 squares. So we're going to put that in for a minute in the microwave. This is where you're going to need your parents' help because you want to make sure, because the chocolate can get hot. So you want to make sure that they're there to help you stir it up and everything. Also, what you'll need is a tray to put it on. Again, Mrs. Rehome likes to use parchment paper because then the chocolate doesn't get all over the tray, and I can just throw this away and not have to clean the tray. But you can do what you want. If you want to just put them on a board and then you'll clean it up later, that's okay too. 10 more seconds. Let's see how the chocolate's doing. Let's turn that down so you can see. Oh yeah, that's nice and soft. Not quite done yet though, because there's still some chunks in there. We need it all melted up. I'm gonna break it up a little bit more though. And I'll put it in there for 5 more seconds. Let's mix that up again. Oh, that's perfect. Nice and smooth. And we are going to pour that right over our peanut butter in the bowl. That helps to melt the peanut butter down. Scrape out as much chocolate as you can. And then we're going to stir that up. You want to make sure that all that peanut butter gets spread all over and mixed with all the Rice Krispies and the marshmallows and the nuts. All right, there we go. Then what you're going to do, oops, let's get a little bit more of that peanut butter and we'll mix that all up too. Then you get your board and a spoon, and you're going to make your scoops. Now you can make them any size you want. Usually with a quarter recipe, you can get a good 12 big lumps of peanut butter cloud. But if you make them smaller, you can get more. And then once you get this whole tray filled up, you're going to put them in the fridge. And thanks to Movie Magic, we have some done right here. And you can see they're nice and hard now and ready to eat. So enjoy until next time. Cooking with Mrs. Rehome.
It's a great day to be a quarantined dolphin.
Great day to be a quarantined dolphin.
Quarantine. It's a great day to be a quarantine dolphin.
It's a great day to be a quarantined dolphin.
It's a great day to be a quarantine dolphin. Bye, guys.